Please be aware that the content in this podcast may be unsettling for some listeners. It discusses sexual exploitation, online bullying, and contains references to depression. If this story brings anything up for you, please talk to someone you trust. You can also free call or text 1737 to connect with a trained counsellor day or night. Kia ora, welcome to Hear Me, See Me, a chance to hear young New Zealanders share their experiences, speak their minds, and maybe even change yours. I'd like to introduce you to Jaime, who shares a powerful story about sexual exploitation and cyberbullying.
It was the holidays before year 10 for me, and I went with a group of my friends who were all boys, and we got drunk for the first time. So I was very young, but I mean, it happens. And then I got drunk to the point that I can't remember anything else. And that was my morning. I woke up puking, and then we went on to the beach, and then we went home, and that was that. And that's what I, presumed had happened. I was like, wow, we all got drunk, and that's how it goes. It was pretty gross. And then about a month later, I was at McDonald's after school where a boy showed me this picture of me, and it was a picture of me shirtless on a bed, and I had no recollection of where that would have came from or, that happening at all. And apparently I'd gotten with one of the guys there, and there were various pictures taken of the similar sort, and everyone had seen these pictures and I didn't even know they existed. It was quite hard to know about. And then one of the boys who was there that actually took the photos, I found out, was completely sober as well and had continued to be my friend throughout this month of me not knowing. So it was pretty rough. And then one of them also sent the photos to me on Facebook Messenger and would every so often send them to me and be like, haha, look at this. And, and I, of course, didn't tell my parents at the time, which was probably my first mistake. But I think I thought they would be mad at me for drinking and all this stuff, which, I don't know, I regret not telling them, but that's the way my 14-year-old brain went. And then fast forward a bit later in the year, and the photos had been circled around and everything, and I had taken some time off school pretending to be sick because I couldn't face going to school. And then a couple of girls who I thought were somewhat my friends found those photos again and then continued spreading them around my school. So now they were at the school I was at every day. And then they also found nude images of other girls from Wellington that were in fact not me. So there were about 4 different images going around of, I didn't know who they were at the time, that everyone thought were me. And these girls continued to this sounds so strange now, but they would make these Facebook statuses, which it was called like for a name and comment your opinion. And they would purposefully, I think, give everyone my name. So there were so many comments about me, all about how no one cares about your boobs because I happen to have big boobs compared to everyone else, which I was insecure about myself, and how I was shit at netball and that I was an attention whore and just all this stuff. And it was obvious to me and everyone else that it was all about me, but that was, I guess, the whole point. I was very, very depressed because I thought everyone thought I was this slut who would send nudes to boys, and I had very few friends at school because everyone was writing these comments about me. And yeah, so school was really, really hard. I would spend most of my day in my room, in my bed, on my computer. And I think I ran my immune system so low just from being so depressed. I ended up getting a lot of tonsillitis and everything, which helped me in my stances because it meant I didn't have to go to school. But physically and mentally I was a mess, and I wasn't helping myself either by looking online at all of the things about me. And yeah, I found going to school very difficult, and especially going to school for academic purposes. I just that wasn't even part of my mindset anymore. I thought I was dumb. I thought I was like worthless. I thought, I'm just this slut. I shouldn't bother at school. Maybe I should, go get with boys and that kind of thing, because that's what was being portrayed onto me of what I was. I was struggling with the issues going on, and I was also trying to be cool myself. Most 13, 14-year-olds are, and I definitely was. And it meant me choosing the wrong friends and thinking that being good at school was lame and like all of this stuff. And then I guess it was in year 11, I had done really well on my like year 10 exams, which don't mean anything, but they're like practicing for NCEA. And I realised, well, maybe I actually, have something going on in my brain. So I decided that I would try in algebra and I would try in English, and choosing to try in classes and actually care about my grades and stuff like that, it made a really big difference. And I ended up really enjoying school, which is really cool. And it's really cool for like my little sister to see, because now she can't wait to go to high school. And I think it's such a unique thing to want. No one wants to go to high school, but she can't wait. And I think hopefully it's sort of due to her seeing my last 3 years being so positive. And I ended up getting good grades, getting into uni and having good friends. It wasn't all easy. Like, there were other things that weren't great, like school was difficult academically and still little friendship dramas, but nothing severe, nothing out of the ordinary. I ended up actually making really good friends, and one of them I made in algebra class, and he's now my boyfriend, and that was in 2015. So, things like that, and surrounding myself with people that cared more about what was going on in games and at school than what was going on in the popular circle of people, that was the biggest difference. So surrounding myself with people that didn't care about whose Instagram was the best. And amazingly, a couple of them didn't even know who I was, which was so refreshing, because that meant they didn't know anything, which now I think almost everyone close to me knows most things I've been through, because I believe in, telling your stories because it helps other people deal with their own. But some people, there were these two girls that actually did kind of step in during the problems and were somewhat there for me, and they were there for me more than anyone else during those times, which I wasn't friends with them before anything bad had happened. They kind of stepped in when they noticed I was staying home from school, and I continued being friends with them through high school. And one of them, this particular girl, she was really good in the way that she didn't bring up anything that she had heard about me unless I brought it up first. So I guess my new friends didn't think, oh, that's the girl who had those photos of her boobs, or that's, it was just, I was me, and it was kind of got to figure out who I was and tell them that, rather than based off of my experiences. I know none of the people that got me to that sort of place would ever have wanted that to happen, but I guess they didn't think about the impact that their actions can actually cause on a person. The fact that pictures were taken, that was one thing that happened. And I think the worst part was that the decision to share them around the school was taken, whereas I know for a fact that at least one of the three would have known that's a bad idea. Like, someone would have had a feeling maybe, or maybe we shouldn't do this. And I think if that person had spoken up and said, stop, let's not share these photos, let's delete them, it all would have been okay. So I guess if you've ever got a feeling that something might hurt someone, don't push it away to try and be cool, because it might save someone's life. And I think I never had any adult or anyone explicitly tell me that it wasn't my fault. It's taken me multiple years of hearing friends' stories that are similar, and reading about the Me Too movement and everything like this, to see wow, it really wasn't my fault. Like, the fact that I chose to drink alcohol wasn't me signing up for what was going to happen afterwards. So I guess I really, really wish someone pulled me aside and said, hey, this isn't your fault that this happened.
Drinking and experiencing all of those things at a young age for the first time is how you learn from mistakes and how you grow up. But like as Jaime said, there must have been at least one person or boy or anyone who won't have a good feeling about the things that are going on, and it can be hard to speak up, but there's always a benefit doing that and, saving someone's life. If Jaime's story has had an impact on you, please talk to someone you trust. You can also free call or text 1737 to connect with a trained counsellor, day or night. Hear Me See Me is a safe place for young New Zealanders to share their stories. Please encourage others to listen to them. If you have a story you'd like to share, please email kiora@hearmeseeme.nz or search Hear Me See Me NZ on Facebook or Instagram, and send us a direct message. To find ways you can support young people and see what others are doing, go to hearmeseeme.nz. Kia kaha, ka kite anō.